Okay. Um, my name's Shakyapada, and I'm doing these meditations every week, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock on Facebook Live. And also every morning during the week at 8 o'clock, we do a pajama meditation where you can join us in your gym jams and just have a really relaxing start to the day. They're only a half hour. This one is a little bit longer, about 45 minutes. Good morning, Jackie. Welcome back, Tony. So this morning we're going to, in this session, we're going to practice the mindfulness of breathing. So this is a meditation that's designed to help our minds to calm down. It was originally taught by the Buddha 2,500 years ago, and it's just as effective now as it was then, and probably even more needed in the modern world than in the Buddha's world, although things were always difficult even then. So it's a fairly simple structure. It's in 4 parts, and in the first 2 parts we count the breath. In the first part we count after the end of the out breath. So we count, we breathe out, and right at the end in our minds we count to 1. And then then we count to 2 on the next out breath, and to 3 on the next, and so on up to 10. And at 10 we stop, and then we go back and count from 1 again. Now the chances are you won't get to 10, and there's nothing at all wrong with that. You might not even get past 1 or 2, and that's okay, because what happens is the mind comes in and starts distracting us. The mind always needs to be doing something. The mind doesn't like to be idle, so the mind will try and take over, and that's okay, because that's just what the mind does. And the thing that we mustn't do is to get upset about that or push it away, try and stop it, because we can't. If we try and do that, that's just another thought. So the way to calm the mind is to just allow it to be as it is. So when we get distracted by a thought, at some point we notice that we've been away, and then just coming back, oh, I've not been here for a while, and that's okay. And then come back to the breath and the counting. And the thing is to treat this whole thing as just how it is, and with a sense of kindness to our minds. Even if we start getting annoyed about our minds taking us away, then having a sense of kindness to that. So always kindness, always acceptance of whatever is happening in the present moment. It's just fine. It's just the way it is. It's a practice of patience and tolerance. So, and the second part, it's pretty much the same. We count at the beginning of each in-breath. Again, starting at 1, going up to 10. And if we get distracted, just in a very kindly way, coming back and starting again. And in the third stage, we're going to just follow the breath in the body, mostly in the upper body, because that's where it's the strongest. But you can notice the breath anywhere in the body, actually. And then in the 4th stage, we're going to bring our attention up to the area around our nostrils or upper lip where the air comes into our bodies. And just really focus on that little area as much as we can, and really concentrate ourselves, our mind, on whatever's happening in that area, the quality of the breath, the warmth of the air, whatever it is. So that's the plan, that's the meditation, And a few more people have joined us since I started talking. Donna, Michelle, good to see you again. So we're going to start, and we'll start in the usual way by just settling in, arriving in our meditation. And then I'm going to read a poem before we start. And the poem is called The Guest House. And it's about thoughts, really. It's about a guest house, but really it's about thoughts. It's by somebody called Rumi, who was a Sufi sage. And it's a very good poem. It's one of my favourites, and some of you may have heard it before, but it's very pertinent to this practice, to this meditation. Okay, so we'll just begin, as always, by taking stock of ourselves. How are you right now, right this moment? Mentally, emotionally, physically. This might be an easy morning for you, or not so easy. So however you're feeling, whether it's okay or not so okay, just being with that to begin with. We're not trying to change how we are. We're just trying to notice with a real sense of kindness. And it's a good way to start, just to let the sunshine of our love beam down on our being, to nourish ourselves with a sense of kindness to ourselves, a sense of self-acceptance. Just tender human beings, just doing the best in what is sometimes a difficult world. And even if we feel we can't be kind to ourselves, just being kind about that. Noticing the weight of your body on the bed, on the floor, on the chair, on the cushion. And allowing the weight to be taken by whatever you're sitting or lying on. Giving up your weight. You don't have to do anything. You are completely supported. And bringing attention to the shoulders, rising and falling with the in-breath and the out-breath. And each time you breathe out, just allowing yourself to relax. And then again on the next out-breath. Just relaxing on each out-breath. allowing the body to relax, allowing the mind to relax. For the next 30-35 minutes, just being, simply being. The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. It may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So this is the mindfulness of breathing. And we begin by following each out-breath from the beginning to the end. And then at the very end of each out-breath, placing the number 1. And then the number 2 on the next out-breath, and so on up to 10. And when we get interrupted by a thought or a distraction, we simply accept that with kindness and come back to the breath and begin again from 1. If you get carried away by thoughts, just very kindly coming back to the breath and beginning the counting again from 1. It's not a problem if you keep getting distracted by thoughts. This is what the mind does. So just patiently, kindly come back to the breath and begin counting again at the end of each out breath. And if thoughts arise such as, this is really difficult, I can't do this, why am I sitting here? Then just have a sense of kindness to those thoughts as well. They're just thoughts. Just come back to the breath and continue counting. So we can let go of the counting for a moment now. And just checking upon ourselves, relaxing, making sure that we're comfortable and adjusting our posture if we're not. And then when you're ready, beginning the counting again, this time at the beginning of each in-breath, just before the start of each in-breath, starting at 1, then 2, and so on up to 10. And if you get to 10, beginning at 1. not getting too caught up with the counting. It's not a competition. We're not trying to get to 10. All we're trying to do is just give our minds something to do by counting before each in-breath, by concentrating, allowing the mind to just settle. Just dropping the number just before each in-breath. And the moment when you realize that when you come back after being distracted, that moment when you realize that you've been distracted, been away somewhere, that is a magical moment, a really precious moment, a moment when you're really present. So when that happens, just really rejoice in that moment. It's so good. I'm going to stop the counting now and move our attention to the upper body. To the chest, the top of the back, the upper back, and the sides of our body. And just noticing as we breathe in and breathe out, this area of the body expanding and contracting. At the front, at the sides, and at the back. And as we're aware of this, not making any effort to breathe, just allowing the breath to come and go quite naturally. Noticing what this sensation of the breathing in the body feels like. Trying not to think about it, just feeling it. We can actually notice lots of things without thinking about them. Just noticing the rhythm, and noticing whether it feels free and open or slightly tight and closed. And if there's tension in the chest, then just being with it, just accepting it, not trying to push it away, just allowing any tightness to be there, raining down a cloud of love and acceptance on it, softening it. Just enjoying the ebb and flow of the breath in the upper body. Getting lost in the sensations of the breath in the body as much as you can. In a way, becoming the breath in the body. In the fourth and final stage, we're going to bring our attention to the area around the nostrils or the upper lip, wherever the air crosses into our body. Doesn't matter which. And just noticing the very subtle sensations as the breath passes the nostrils or the upper lip. What can you feel? What are these delicate sensations? What's the quality of the breath? Is it silky smooth, or coarse, or something else? It doesn't matter what it is, but just noticing. And what about the temperature of the breath? Is it different when it leaves the body to when it enters? Just really focusing on this small area of your experience. And for the last couple of minutes, we're just going to let go of any effort. Just sitting, just noticing whatever happens, whatever arises in our experience, pleasant or unpleasant, and just allowing it to be there with kindness and acceptance. And maybe thoughts arise of wanting the meditation to end. That's just our minds wanting to get back to normal. So just noticing that, not getting caught up in it. Just enjoying whatever experiences, pleasant experiences arrive. The sensations in the body. The breathing. The air on your skin. Any sounds around you. I'm going to ring the bell in a moment to bring the meditation to an end. And when I do, as always, taking your time, being gentle with yourselves, and when you're ready, opening your eyes and moving your body.